like to call the meeting to order, please. Johanna, will you read the statement of compliance?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the Atlantic City Press, Star Ledger, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Please turn off all electronic devices.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johanna, please take the roll.
Mayor Collins,
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg,
I am here.
Commissioner Horn. Here.
Is there a motion for the approval of the November 7th, 2024 regular and workshop capital minutes?
Motion.
Second?
Mayor Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
All right, we will now open up to public comment. If anyone has any comment, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address.
Carol Weaver, 12 Edgemar Circle. I'm here in response, I had a conversation with Commissioner Horn twice, June and July, I believe, and a concern I have, I think there needs to be a one-way street, Lagoon Drive off of Jerome Avenue. It's massive confusion up there for people coming and going off of the bridge and sitting in that traffic and waiting to go through the booths has become Russian roulette with some of these cars. And the cars entering from Lagoon Drive onto Jerome Avenue can literally come out and go across 2 lanes of traffic that are coming off of the bridge and turning and trying to go left onto Jerome Avenue. Or cars coming out of Lagoon Drive are turning right, but they might choose one or the other of the 2 toll booths, because if you don't have a bridge card, you have to go in one lane, and if you do have a bridge card, but you go in the wrong lane and all that. Then the other problem is Lagoon Drive is the last street off of Jerome Avenue before the bridge. If you decide, I don't want to take the bridge, I don't want to pay a toll, it does not easy pass. And so they're trying to turn on the Lagoon Drive, and you have people entering onto Jerome Avenue going either way, and there's combustion at that corner. And God forbid, a tractor trailer comes along that cannot go onto the bridge. They don't have the turning radius to turn on the Lagoon Drive if someone is sitting at the corner of Lagoon Drive to enter onto Jerome Avenue. So somewhere along the line, in this grand scheme of road diet and stop signs and one way, Lagoon Drive wasn't looked at as one of the streets that should have been made one way. And given the traffic that comes in and out of Margate on that bridge, people waiting in line to enter into one of those toll booths, and I'll be honest with you, I've lived here all my life. My street was made one way, no one asked me if I liked it, it just got done. And when I come out of my street, I'm back on Edgemar Circle, I can see cars coming down Huntington Avenue. Why? Because they're trying to beat out the traffic on Jerome Avenue. And they'll come out on Lagoon Drive, and I'm coming up Jerome after doing the due diligence of going around and coming up Jerome like I'm supposed to, and I see them waiting there. And of course, they want to edge out in front of you. It's not happening with me. They're going to sit. But it causes problems, because not only are they trying to edge out into traffic and going into one of those 2 lines for the booth, or literally they're trying to go across Jerome Avenue, making a left to go down Jerome Avenue towards the rest of the city. Now, if you made Lagoon Drive one way off of Jerome, that means that anyone living back in those areas would have to come down Jerome to access Lagoon Drive to get to their home. It is what it is. But the reality is, with the traffic that's building in this town, construction and so forth, it's something that has to be done. It's lucky that really there hasn't been any major mishaps, but of course the police department could respond to that. I spoke to 2 police officers since, realizing that maybe somebody should make a suggestion about this. I realize this doesn't happen overnight, and it's going to take time, and I guess you have to submit it to the state, but it's really something that you should think about, making Lagoon Drive one-way to facilitate traffic entering off and on the bridge, and to also allow for any of that traffic that wants to exit before the bridge, the opportunity to exit onto Lagoon Drive without having to wait for cars that are sitting at that corner and trying to come out. So, go down there and watch it someday. It's very interesting, especially on a hardcore weekend or something of that sort. So, I would hope that you would consider this. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Carol, it's nice to put a face to your voice.
Yeah, Minnie Mouse lives in Margate.
What's that?
Joel Naroff, 223 North Washington Avenue. Okay. I'd like to get some information. I'm trying to understand the decision-making that went into the parking lot, gas station decision. So I just have some questions about what was done prior to the decision to purchase it. That's under consideration at this point. So, the first question I have, and I have some questions for Mayor Collins, is you said that it's going to help everybody in the city. Did you do any economic studies that, talked about or addressed the issue of what's the impact of the purchase and of the parking lot, of having that lot on the city, and how, what did you use to come to the conclusion it was going to help everybody or benefit everybody?
So when you say the economic impact, are you talking on the taxpayer or the parking lot as an impact on the
Finances or what?
parking lot, as an impact?
Either an economic development issue or whatever it may be, yes.
So both questions.
Yeah,
So
it goes to both.
So as far as the taxpayer impact, again, we meet with our financial advisors. Leon Costello from Ford Scott has been advising us for many years. He's been with us as long as I've been here. The impact to the taxpayer is zero based on our planned future capital. So when we talk about all the projects that we do, you see at various meetings, there's obviously a cost to them. Everything we do in reference to our capital falls within the guidelines of our current tax basis. So we're not looking to increase taxes by doing any of the capital projects you see throughout the many years that we see the Sigrim walkway, we see the basketball courts, we see the bathrooms, all of those things, they all fall in the same category. So, in the sense that, there's so much money to go around and we have to choose which projects to spend it on, this is one that we felt was worthwhile to pursue because parking is an ongoing issue in this town. And we identified 3 areas in need of parking: the business district along Ventnor from Boca to Castles, the Washington Avenue, Ventnor, on Ventnor Avenue from Washington to Coolidge, and then the Marina District.
What you're telling me is that your financial advisors did a financial analysis of this specific project.
No, they do an overall study of the impact of all of our projects on our budget.
Well, but that doesn't tell you what the impact is of an individual project. We don't know whether this loses money. We don't know whether it generates any other economic impacts. So
Yeah, so I think to respond to that, and again, this is just the nature of government. Government does all of the things that the public doesn't want to do because there's a cost. So we have playgrounds, we take care of our fields. They're all a cost to the city that doesn't pay back to the city. So having parking lots, having this particular location is going to be parking spaces along with a park-like setting. The financial impact of that to the city is not going to be significant. What it does
Well,
is
we
it
don't
enhances the
know
quality
what
of
it-
life.
We don't know what it is because, first of all, it's a capital budget. I mean, I do understand these things. I think you know I know these things.
I do,
used
yes.
to teach these things, okay, when I was a professor in the finance department of a university. So I understand all of these things. That doesn't tell me whether any individual project is worth doing or not doing. And each one, even though it's within a grouping, we should have at least an understanding of what the individual project does. And I know how, okay, financial and especially capital budgeting should be done. And it doesn't sound as if there has been an individual analysis of this project. And the reason I bring it out is, given the bond issue that you're proposing and the value that the cost that's there, either where the appraisal costs are, what the costs are going to be of the maintenance, what the costs are going to be of funding it, and the standard capital budgeting analysis would require an individual analysis of that. That it fits in just gives you the ability to say it fits in. It doesn't
Right.
tell
Yeah,
me
so-
as an individual that this is a project worth doing.
So I think I'll go back to what I said earlier. So, I may be wrong, and the other department heads that have been here longer than I am can maybe attest. Any of these capital projects, we're not doing an individual analysis on what that impact is. When we do our road programs, we're not saying what's that impact. What we're doing is we're investing in our roads and our infrastructure to help our residents. When we did the Lucy Playground, investing in our infrastructure for our kids so that they have a place to play. This falls into that category. We invest in the town to improve the quality of life for our residents. Not everybody agrees with every project we do. The basketball courts, you might have somebody we have this all the time. There's people that want 10 more pickleball courts. They don't want the basketball courts. We're resurfacing the basketball courts. That's a choice we as a governing body make to try to improve the life of our residents. The projects on an individual basis, the economic impact of something like that, can you put an economic impact on the basketball court resurfacing? We can't. We don't do a study on that. This parking lot, while it will be a revenue producing entity for the city because we will have metered parking, we're not looking at this as saying this is going to pay back the city over this many years. We're looking at this saying we're investing in having more trees in our city, having more open space, having more places for people to park, because we all know that those things are limited. So we can go all day long about the economic impact.
I understand that completely, but you have a project that's a specialized project. It's not a recreation project. It's not a roadwork project. It's not a building for public works or whatever it may be that we're talking about. This is just a very specialized project that has some very, very specialized sets of circumstances in it. In particular, the issue of environmental and securing the city's non-responsibility for any cleanup costs. I mean, yes, some people may want more pickleball costs, but you don't get the kind of reaction from the public on a public works project, on a capital budgeting project of the size that you're talking about here, without responding to that with some analysis to say to me, when I say me, I mean the public, that the price you're paying is a fair and valid price, that the solicitor is capable of handling all of the legal work on an environmental issue that protects the city about it, because I've been involved in other environmental issues. These are all the issues that are specialized to this specific purchase.
And Joel, if you've been listening over the past 6 months, and Scott and Ed, feel free to chime in. We have experts. So, Ed's team is a team of experts that deal with this on a regular basis.
Okay.
They're looking at the environmental. We're still in our due diligence period. Scott, I believe, probably puts about 30 to 40 hours a week in phone calls and emails regarding this, because we want to make sure we're doing everything right for our residents as well. So we hear you, we're listening, we want it cleaned up, we want to make sure we're not responsible for that. We're taking all those steps to make sure that's going to happen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
Motion.
I will second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
All right, we will now open up public comment on resolution and ordinance adoption only. If anyone has any comment on those items on today's agenda, please step forward. Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to close public comment on resolutions and ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
Johanna, will you proceed, please?
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 25 of 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 269, Water of the Code of the City of Margate, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the adoption of ordinance number 22 of 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 183-6, Schedules of Fees of the Code of the City of Margate City, Atlantic County, New Jersey?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for ordinance number 23, 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 257-26, multi-way stop intersections of the Code of the City of Margate City, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the adoption of ordinance number 24 of 2024, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1-2024, fixing the salaries and compensation of certain officers and employees of the City of Margate City, Atlantic County, New Jersey?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 267, 2024, authorizing bill payment of claims?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 268, 2024, authorizing payment to Colmar Home Center?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
I abstain.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution 269, 2024, authorizing a transfer of budget appropriations?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the consent agenda, which consists of resolution number 270, 2024 through 276, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
At this time, I'd like a motion for resolution number 277, 2024, declaring executive closed session.
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
Would everyone please exit the room until closed session is finished, and you will be invited back.
Thank you. And
May I have a motion to come out of closed session?
Motion.
second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
All right, we've come out of closed session regarding a personnel manager, did I say his matter? Right. Matter, just matter. And we've considered possible terms. What's that? It's a payment matter, not a personnel matter. Well, that's right, payment matter regarding a matter with the DCA. We have our attorney, Todd Gelfand, here. some various options and a possible settlement have been discussed. We don't know if they'll work yet, but we're going to instruct Todd to move forward on those efforts to try to get this matter resolved. And that's all we are at this point. There's been no final decision.
Do we
And
have,
if there's a final decision, it will be resolved through resolution.
I believe we would have to do it by resolution.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And do we have, like, it takes a couple weeks and we do get it done, do we have another meeting where we can get the resolution passed?
we have 2 meetings in December where we could do it, yep.
Okay, good.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Get through this.